Hello and welcome back to We Are City channel for episode 8 now of our career mode with Manchester City. We are into the January transfer window. In the last episode we went and signed Kyogo Fudiashi on a £9 million deal from Celtic. On his debut against Stevenage, he managed to score 4 goals. An absolutely amazing debut for Kyogo. Today's episode is going to be a big one as well in the January transfer market because we need to start looking at that Rodri replacement, someone who can play the Rodri role. We've had Gundogan played there, Kovacic, John Stones, but I'd like a proper out-and-out older midfielder, someone like Rodri to come in, and there's so many different options we could go for, so many questions that need answering in today's episode. And you can see there, talking about Kyogo Fudiashi, 4 goals in his debut. Him coming off the bench, I think, is going to be a real impact substitute, super sub this season. Let's get into, though, the holding midfield situation. So how do Manchester City replace Rodri? Rodri's ACL injury is a massive miss for this Manchester City side, and we're talking about the best midfield in the world and the official best player in the world, Mr. Ballon d'Or himself. Aggression, ball winning, physicality, press resistance, top level dribbling, a real amazing passing range, an eye for goal, especially in big moments, and plus leadership. Not only the short term, but the long term for Rodri. Well, as a Rodri replacement, I have picked out 12 options in the transfer market, and I've split them into 4 categories, 3 in each. Category 1 is a deep-lying playmaker, someone most similar to Rodri in his style of play. We've then got a destroyer in category 2. Number 3, we've got a number 8, someone who can play in the whole midfield when Rodri isn't there, but when Rodri is back, can play alongside him. And category 4 is our high-risk options, 3 players that don't fit exactly everything that City want as a Rodri replacement. I'm going to analyse all these players using an analytic website such as DataMB and also FBref as reference. Well, firstly, statistically, we've got to look at Rodri's data because Rodri is the man we're looking to compare absolutely everything from all these other players against. You can see there his percentile, and from DataMB you can see forward passes, he's pretty much at the top of that. Forward pass percentages at the top, ball carrying, duels percentage, progressive passive, key passes. As for a midfielder percentile wise, he is at the top of nearly everything barring defensive actions because Manchester City have so much of the ball. And in the bottom corner with the FBref stats, you can see that Rodri is a real all-rounder. A key point though I want to pick out in that is aerial duels won, 80 aerial duels won in terms of per 90s percentile wise. So starting things off with category 1, our deep line playmakers, and the 3 players I've picked out are Samuel Ricky of Torino, Ruben Neves of Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia, and Martin Zubimendi, who plays for La Real. Due to his moves to the Saudi Pro League, the stats and the data just aren't there for that league quite yet. There's nothing to include in that, so I'm ruling him out of this straight away. And statistically, we compare Martin Zubimendi and Samuel Ricky, and you can tell the difference between the 2 players very clearly. As you look at the comparison between Rodri, Zubimendi and Ricky, Zubimendi is the red, Ricky is the yellow, Rodri of course the blue. You can see that Zubimendi actually, of all players, is very close to what Rodri is himself. Of course he's not as good as Rodri in all those areas, but he is pretty much putting out Rodri sort of performances and stylistically very similar in those areas. And if we compare Rodri and Zubimendi directly, you can see percentile-wise on the FBref stats, Rodri just obliterates him in absolutely everything because of the quality of player Rodri is. But when looking to try and find somewhere similar, you can see there from DataMB, the graph that shows, you know, what they are doing in game and so on, the percentile-wise, and it's looked like Rodri and Zubimendi are very similar. I like that. As for the 3 midfield destroyers in category 2, I went with Alan Varela of FC Porto, Pepelu, who plays his game at Valencia, and Morten Holmjand, who's been playing his trade for Denmark and for Sporting under Ruben Amorim. Varela's stats much better. Now aerially, both these players aren't particularly fantastic, and that is something that is clear to see. Pass attempted and pass completion rate and pass progressive passes is very, very high for Varela. However, his tackle percentage compared to Holmjand is not there at all. In terms of like statistics, non-penalty goals and things, Holmjand is a very much better player in that sense. But when you look to see how the players develop and look like they compared stylistically, you can see there between those, Pepelu the red completely ruled out straight away. Holmjand is the green, a very, very different player to Rodri. However, Alan Varela playing at Porto, only 23 years of age, he has a lot that I like about him that really does compare him to Rodri. One part of his game which is really, really weak at the moment, you can see percentage duel there per 90 is only 40%, so that is absolutely nowhere near what Rodri's picking up at 82%. When it comes to the comparing the two directly, you can see, I mean, the big thing about Rodri is his aerial duels won. He's very low in, the sort of defensive stats of the game. Tackles, interceptions, blocks, clearances. That's not part of his game. Varela around the same level. Much lower on the tackles, however. But on aerials one, Rodri's a lot better. But you've got to remember, Rodri's an all-rounder. He's also a lot bigger. But you can see there in the stats from Data MB how similar, actually, Varela and Rodri are. And you do have to remember in these situations that players playing for smaller clubs, playing for different teams, different possession stats, playing different styles, it is difficult. But actually, I was very impressed looking at this Varela, and him and Zubimendi certainly jump off the page at me as two probably the best options to come in at the moment. But of course, we've still got two more categories to look at. On to category 3, and these are the players that aren't natural number 6s, more number 8s who could play alongside Rodri. Nico Pereira of Inter Milan. We've got Joshua Kimmich of Bayern Munich, who I do see more of a natural 8 than a 6. And Bruno Guimaraes. Guimaraes in the green there is much more of an all-action midfielder. You can see not as forward-thinking as Rodri, which surprises me, actually, considering that Bruno Guimaraes does play. Sort of, these are the players I think are better as a number 8 than a number 6. Guimaraes doesn't have that forward-thinking ability that you think he would do. As for Nico Pereira, I mean, key passes, progressive passes, duels, key passes especially, he's much further forward. However, forward passes he's not, and defensive actions are very low compared to the rest. He doesn't win many duels. He's not much of a ball carrier either, which Rodri has to his game. I mean, Rodri is just absolutely everywhere. We have to remember that, how good he is. And as for Joshua Kimmich, I mean, he plays quite often at fullback as well for Bayern Munich, but he does have that sense of very Rodri style again. So we compare Kimmich directly to Rodri like we've always seen we do, and you can see here, you can see how actually similar they are. There is worries around the duel percentage. One for Kimmich is pretty low considering, and he's not really someone who's going to carry the ball. But shot creating actions both at 97. He's actually better in terms of non-penalty goals assisted and so on, and assist-wise he's not quite as good as Rodri. Total shots and non-penalty goals and so on are very low. Again, Rodri just an all-rounder, but progressive passes more so than Rodri. Successful take-ons and touches, you can see Kimmich is certainly someone who wants to pass the ball more than Rodri, who likes to play players and then pass the ball. And our fourth and final category with 3 players are our high-risk options. Hugo Larsson of Eintracht Frankfurt, Adam Wharton at Crystal Palace, and Sergi Altamira of Real Betis. You can see Rodri in the blue. Adam Wharton is the green. He's actually in some areas very close to Rodri, in some areas not. In the red is Hugo Larsson, who is absolutely nowhere near anything that City want in a player compared to Rodri. He's certainly one that's been mentioned as City scouting, but I took him off the list straight away looking at that. Nowhere near the others. And then you've got Sergi Altamira as well, who is sort of a little bit like Rodri in a sense, actually. But he's much weaker at absolutely everything. You can see that in the FBref percentiles on the left-hand side, the graphs as always. And what Adam Wharton really stands out is in tackles 90. Defensive actions, Wharton is much higher. Interceptions 83. Clearances 73. Pass completion rate, Altamira outdoes Wharton in that sense. But I think Adam Wharton, what really stands out for him is the fact that he's got really high key passes, really high forward passes, progressive passes, duels and defensive actions. And if we directly compare Rodri to Adam Wharton, of course, again, there is absolutely no comparison really in the two players. Percentile-wise from FBref, you can see Rodri outdoes him at pretty much everything, barring defensive actions, which is, I think, purely because we see Wharton play for Crystal Palace. He does a lot of trying to win the ball back in that midfield alongside a Doucouré or a Lerma. So here are my final 3, all compared to Rodri. As a deep line playmaker, I think the closest player to Rodri we could possibly find in the red is Martin Zubimendi. He has a £50 million release clause, I think, at La Real, but convincing him to move Dondias and San Sebastian has proved to be difficult for Bayern Munich, for Barcelona, and for Liverpool in the summer transfer window, so that might be a no-go for Manchester City. In the yellow, we have Joshua Kimmich, who is already worked under Pep Guardiola, knows what Guardiola wants from a holding midfielder, from a centre-back, from a full-back, from wherever he has played under Pep. He has played all over, very versatile, but at his age, 29 years of age, happy at Bayern Munich, it is likely that he will sign a new contract there. So if City can't get Kimmich or Zubimendi, I think the key option, the man that I'm looking to pick out, is FC Porto's Alan Varela. Impressed at Boca Juniors, made a very small €11 million move, I think, in the end to FC Porto. He has around a £52 million, £53 million release clause in terms of pounds to move to Manchester City, and I think City would look at triggering that release clause in the January transfer window. I think that is the man City should be looking at alongside Martin Zubimendi. Well, currently City sitting second in the Premier League table, 3 points off the league leaders, Spurs, and 2 points clear of third place Liverpool. Arsenal down in 6th, who are not having a good season at all. Only 1 defeat all season, Arsenal, but 10 draws is what's really causing them problems. And we go away to Brentford next. The Brentford side are all the way down in 14th. And a bit of a relegation battle this season. But we know the way Thomas Frank's Brentford side play. They play some really good stuff, and they've started to find their form despite being low in the table. 3 wins and 2 draws in their last 5 Premier League games. A strong back line who can play with the ball, out possession, they're good as well, and also they really do like to score from a set piece. They're a difficult task, and they won that Manchester City tend to have real problems against. This is how we're going to go with against Brentford today. Ederson will start in goal. It's Lewis, Stones, Akanji and Joshko Vardy, Manchester City's back 4. Gundogan, Grealish and captain Bernardo Silva in the midfield 3, with Doku on the left, Foden on the right and Haaland through the middle. A bit of a tactical tweak means that Foden will cut inside, Bernardo go outside. Bit of fluidity in that City attack. On the bench, got Ortega, Ake, Diaz, Walker, Kovacic, Nunes, Bob Savinho, and new man Kyogo Fudiashi could make his first City appearance off the bench. For Brentford, it is away in the Premier League. I'm expecting a real big game here today. A game which City might struggle in. Every game is a challenge, to be fair. There's not many games in this series you go into and think that was an easy one. We don't seem to win big in games. We haven't done that in recent games. But it is now getting towards that business end of the season. I think by the time we come out of January, this City side tend to start playing the way we expect them to try and win it back. Johan Visser. Thiago, good tackle by Stones into Rico Lewis. Thiago takes on Stones and Rico Lewis here. Stones is pushing to make the challenge. He can't do. Johan Visser. Manu Akanji with him. And Akanji nice and strong here against Johan Visser. And Akanji gets it away well than City. 17 minutes on the clock here. Back into Phil Foden. Bernardo Silva. In towards Phil Foden here. Foden takes it well. Foden. Phil Foden for Manchester City. What a chance he's put wide there, Phil. He's got to hit the target, Foden. He's got to at least hit the target. City yet to have a really good chance barring that Foden one. No chances yet created for Erling Haaland. Rico Lewis beaten by Johan Visser. Space for Thiago in behind here. Johan Visser. John Stones in there. Wrong side of him. Visser. Ederson comes out. Good goalkeeper from Ederson. Could have been a penalty. We get away with it. Jack Grealish from Manchester City. Visser down towards Rico Henry. Chased quickly by Rico Lewis. And a good win by Bernardo Silva here. And trouble for the opposition. Haaland. Wide to Doku. Doku for City. Doku across the box. Doku back out. Brentford away as far as Ilkay Gundogan. On the chest of Ilkay. Foden. Past Rico Henry. Brilliant play by Foden in behind to Bernardo Silva. Rico Henry reads it. Too easy. Haaland could win it in the box here. Trouble for Brentford. The referee blows a half-time whistle. Gives them a let-off there. 0-0 against Brentford. City have not been good today in that first 45 minutes, without a doubt. We haven't been good. Bernardo back over to Foden here. On the chest of Phil Foden. Wide the challenge is Foden. Bernardo. Through. Haaland is there. Haaland shoots. Haaland scores for Manchester City. Come on. 1-0 lead at Brentford. It's Erling Haaland again. He's not currently getting a goal a game. If he got a hat-trick in the next 2 games, maybe he'd back. Good play by Foden and Bernardo. Nice ball through by Bernardo. Haaland holds off Christoph Ayer. And an near post on the right foot. He puts it past Flecken with power into the back of the net. Haaland scores 1-0 lead at Brentford here from Manchester City. As in the past, Haaland here. Look at that space for Doku. Haaland finds him. Jeremy Doku for Manchester City. Doku. Doku takes too long and dealt with easily by Brentford. Last defenders. Visser. Visser through. Kanji's there. Visser! Good save from Eddie. And away by Grealish to Jeremy Doku. Which is a strange one, perhaps. Maybe he should have stayed on. Ederson comes to this one. Well played, Eddie. Straight into Savinho. Look at the count for City here. Savinho through to Doku. What a ball. Jeremy Doku. Doku. Haaland. Savinho. Savinho! Oh, how have we not scored? Do not throw this win away. Do not throw this win away. Do not throw this win away. John Stones, a good challenge. Kovacic wins it. Kovacic. Haaland. Savinho. Back through to Haaland. Erling Haaland for 2. Game over. And it's a double from Erling Haaland to give City a 3 points away at Brentford. Good play. Good win. And that calmed the nerves a little bit in this one. I thought Brentford were going to score there. I thought they were going to get a last-minute goal against us. But Erling Haaland finds the way. Savinho back to Haaland. One touch. And bang. Fabio Carvalho. Jensen, tackled by Bernardo Silva. Into Erling Haaland here. Wide to Jeremy Doku. Doku for City. Doku across the box to Savinho, who just can't get there before full time to make it 3. Brentford 0, Manchester City 2. A win, 3 points, a clean sheet. And we need to keep that up for the rest of the episode, really, don't we? Some more big transfers. Villarreal signed Mauro Icardi from Galatasaray. And we've seen Luka Netz join West Ham United for 7 million. So some big moves. Also, Jacob Ramsey joins Bologna. That's a surprise, isn't it, really? Well, it's back into the Champions League action up next. You can see we sit in 3rd place in the league table, the Champions League, on 15 points with a game in hand on the 2 teams, Juventus and Barcelona above us, meaning we can go top. Paris Saint-Germain are down in 15th place, and they are the side we face to go away to the Parc des Princes to face Luis Enrique's side. We know the way PSG like to play, and they've actually managed to beat Real Madrid to the signing of Alphonso Davies. Instead of signing him on a free transfer, they offered big money to Bayern Munich and made that deal happen. He's apparently expected to start at right back today. Donnarumma, Davies, Captain Marquinhos, Willy Pacho and Nuno Mendes at back 4, Vitinha, João Neves and Warren Zaire in the midfield 3, Asensio at false 9, with Dembele in the right and back colour on the left. I expect we see Colomawani or someone Gonzalo Ramos in there instead. I think despite being not quicker or physically better than PSG, I think technically we're a lot better. That midfield of Paris Saint-Germain's is very good and certainly one for the future. We're a very different looking side for Pep Guardiola's Manchester City today as we go out today against Paris Saint-Germain with a more conservative side, looking maybe for a draw in the Champions League. Really, that is what we are looking for. We're going to go with Grealish, Haaland, Bernardo Silva at the front 3, Kovacic, Lewis and Foden at the midfield 3. There was a plan to play John Stones in the whole midfield role today. That was the initial plan, or Ilkay Gundogan. Both are not quite there in terms of fitness, so I have gone with Rico Lewis in there, and I'm allowing Rico Lewis to play there because Kovacic alongside him adds a little bit of muscle, and so is Manu Akanji. I think is going to step up into that midfield alongside Rico Lewis. Hopefully City side can go and get a win away from home at the Parc des Princes. It won't be easy. Got lots of attacking options and midfield and defensive options on the bench if we need to change things, be more expansive or so on. It's been interesting how Rico Lewis does there. It is the January transfer window. We do need to look at perhaps a Rodri backup, a new Rodri player in that position. We've tried Stones there, Gundogan, Kovacic, Rico Lewis there now as well today. In a big Champions League game, Pep Guardiola's tried lots in that position. None seem to have made the Rodri impact, do they? So Champions League nights are one of the most special ones in the whole of the football game. And this is going to be a big one today in Paris at the Parc des Princes. Manchester City take on Paris Saint-Germain. A win today for City would put us top of the full league stage in the Champions League and pretty much would confirm, I think, automatic qualification without a doubt. Paris Saint-Germain are battling to try and get into that top stage. I think Rico Lewis is going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders today, playing that whole midfield role. Well, here is Luis Enrique starting Paris Saint-Germain side, captained by Prince El Kempembe. They've got some good options on the bench, but it is Mawani, Dembele and Barcola, a very, very expansive front 3, very quick attacking wise. I mean, fullbacks Fernandes and Davis as well. That's a very, very creative midfield 3. I'm very impressed by that side. I think we can get their midfield, however, especially Rico Lewis in there today. We need to look out for that attacking front line though. Barcola, Dembele, Mawani with bags and bags of pace. New for him this season is a ball in behind to Dembele, straight away from Manchester City. A save by Edison and offside. Flag goes up, luckily. That's an early start for PSG, getting behind our defence, which you'd think with Walker, Akanji, Diaz in there would feel strong. It doesn't feel strong at all. Awake to it at all is Dembele. Pass Vardy and run it Rico Lewis. Where's Mane Dembele? And he runs it all the way out for a goal kick. Well, maybe the way to defend Dembele is just leave him to his own devices. 3 goals in his last 3 games in the Champions League for Erling Haaland. Right to Bernardo Silva. Back into Phil Foden here. Foden sees Haaland make a run here. He's found Haaland. He's past Marquinhos. Haaland's in. He's Erling Haaland for Manchester City. It's Erling Haaland off the post. Jack Grealish. Kovacic and away by PSG. Haaland should have scored there. He works it wide to Dembele. He's running at Joško Vardiol again here. And Vardiol done really well there with the strength, and he deals with Dembele. Very well played, Joško Vardiol. Barcola. Good block by Manu Akanji. Handballs to the referee. So much space inside there. Into Kulmawani here. And here's the side netting. What a chance. Goes wide towards Davies. Haaland against Kimpembe. Just can't get there. It's on to Barcola. That is half-time at the Parc des Princes. 0-0. Been a bit of a cagey game. City in the midfield have struggled, really, with Lewis, Kovacic and Foden. I think maybe Gundogan has to come on to try and control the game a little bit more. But we'll take 0-0 at half-time, really. Kulmawani. PSG quickly trying to get that ball forward here. Edison comes for it. Edison gets there. Well done, Eddie. Good sweeper keeping. On to Kovacic. Bad one from Edison here. It's a massive mistake by Edison. It's off the post. And City get away with that massive there. Vitinha hits one and it hits the post. Edison nowhere near. How we got away with that, I don't know. Kovacic. He's lost it again. Dembele. Space for Kulmawani here. What a block by Manu Akanji. Back out to Dembele. City all over the place, midfield-wise. Chance for Dembele. Save Edison and Kyle Walker clears it away. Akanji there. Bradley Barcola still. Go back heel, back out to Kulmawani. Past Kyle Walker. And Kulmawani scores for Paris Saint-Germain. Kyle Walker, who... He's relatively finished, isn't he? We know that. Inside he goes. Nowhere to be seen. And Mawani scores past Edison. And City make that change in midfield now. And you can see Kyle Walker there. He's getting a yellow card. The guy is just not at anywhere near the level he was from a few seasons ago. One of the best defenders in world football. One of the best fullbacks. The best fullback in Premier League history, some were saying. He's certainly not that anymore. Dembele. Wide he goes. Fernandes. Kanji in the box here. Fernandes hits one to save. Edison behind for a corner. City continue to struggle here. Fernandes is on. Free header by Kulmawani off the line by Arman Kovacic turns. I think it was Haaland who cleared it off the line. He has dives in frustration. Ball right through the middle of the defence. Cuts us open. Dembele. Barcola. Where is Kyle Walker? Bradley Barcola. What a save from Edison. But where is Kyle Walker? Back to Gundogan. Doku's made a good run here, Jeremy Doku. Doku flicks it past Marquinhos brilliantly. Doku. Jeremy Doku saved. Reached at the far post, or it's Foden. Back out to Gundogan. Bernardo. Ilkay. Doku should score. Kovacic. So he's been so bad, Mateo Kovacic. He's so bad. Ruben Diaz has picked up an injury as well. As Kulmawani's in here. Randall Kulmawani, another good save from Edison. Smothers it, comes out quick. Doku is there. Dembele with lovely feet. Dembele! What a goal. 2-0 PSG. And it's game over for Manchester City. We don't need to see a replay of that. But at least it's not a big tie, and we know that we're already through. Or going to go through anyway. We think so anyway, as Dembele goes in for another one. Edison makes another brilliant save. He's been absolutely fantastic today, Edison. Goal kick as well. But all 3 points will be heading Paris Saint-Germain's way. Doku. That is full time. The Parc des Princes. A 2-0 defeat for Manchester City against Paris Saint-Germain. Just could not beat them. They were way too good. And that is something to think about against Luis Enrique's side. They beat us pretty easily. The big news in terms of Claudio Echeverri. He could be part of the first team squad, but we decided it's right to let him go away from the club and play some good first team minutes. West Ham United wanted Echeverri and they agree a loan for him for 6 months at the end of the season. That's Premier League football guaranteed for Claudio Echeverri. We've seen Arsenal interested in Jeremy Frimpong apparently as a new right-back, right-winger player. We might be interested in the future as well if we were to lose Kyle Walker. That's one to keep an eye on. Griezmann to Bayer Leverkusen to work on the Xabi Alonso. Here we go, confirmed. Senesi has moved from Bournemouth to Leicester City. Atalanta's Darun could be on his way to Fulham. Real big transfers perhaps still to happen in the January transfer window. Well, we sit 1 point off Tottenham Hotspur at the top of that Premier League table after 22 games. Arsenal not far behind in third, United in fourth. It looks like a Spurs City title race. However, until you get to around match day 30, you really know who's going to be into it in those last, 18 games, 8 games after 30 games played. The start 11 I decided to go with against Chelsea today. Obviously, Ederson in goal. It's going to be Lewis, Akanji, Ake and Vardy on the back four. They come back in, does Nathan Ake for Ruben Dias. City looking for a clean sheet. A midfielder, Bernardo Silva, who's going to wear the captain's armband alongside John Stones and Phil Foden. Stones in that role despite being a little bit tired, as is Ilkay Gundogan, Ruben Dias, but I prefer Mihover Kovacic. But me playing Stones in that midfield role, I think makes us a little bit more solid in that midfield, and means then we can be a bit more expansive in the wide areas. So Doku and Savinho start in the wide areas with Erling Haaland for the middle. Lots of impact substitution on the bench, the likes of Fudiashi, Grealish, Bob, Nunes. A strong City side, strong enough really to be winning today at home against Chelsea. Etihad Stadium and match day 23 in the Premier League. City very much in the title race, 1 point off Ange Postecoglou's side, who sit top of the table. Arsenal are 4 points off us, but I wouldn't rule them out just yet. We know the quality Mikel Arteta's team has. Two midfielders lead out two sides in captain for Chelsea Enzo Fernandez and captain for Manchester City Bernardo Silva, who's played a key role this year so far. Well, Chelsea beat us on the opening day of the Premier League season. We look to return the favour today at the Etihad. Enzo Maresca goes the 4-2-3-1 with Robert Sanchez in goal. The Sarsi, Adebayo, Gusto and Chilwell the back four. Caicedo and Fernandes in the midfield, with Davide Washington making a start, with Sancho and Palmer on their return to the Etihad, with Nkunku up tops. And Ben Chilwell today. Savinho, he's past Chilwell. Brilliant from Savinho. Savinho into the box. Chilwell stays with him. Edge of the box to Foden, who flicks it on away from Palmer to John Stones. Running behind towards Doku, great ball. Doku, he's offside here. I don't know how Doku is stood offside when he's looking along the line. I expect him to be onside in that position, without a doubt. Sancho and one back by Vardy. I'll give him back to Jadon Sancho. And poke through towards Cole Palmer. Trouble for City here. Palmer against the Kanjus, quickly across. And back to Vardy. Doku against Gusto, and he's passed him. Brilliant from Doku. Got to use that burst of pace now, Doku, and Gusto catches him. How is Doku so slow? Rico, get back inside Savinho. He's offside because he's such a lazy winger. He can't come back onside. A metre, if that. 2 foot. Looking to run at Nathan Ake, who so far has been very solid City defensively. And Nkunku. Past Rico Lewis. Palmer. Palmer there. Ake lost him. Palmer, great feet. And Nkunku. Ake, great challenge by Ake again, and brilliant play by John Stones in the middle. Bernardo Silva, bit of a counter here for City. Bernardo, Rico Lewis, Savinho. Savinho puts it back here. Edge of the box to Bernardo Silva. Onto Doku. Doku in, it's into Haaland. It's a good ball by Doku there. We score. Haaland's in acres of space in the centre of the box. Half time 0-0 like the PSG game. But that killer pass is so missing on this side. Bernardo Silva. A run from Haaland centrally here. It's a good run from Erling. Back out to Doku. Bernardo. Foden. Back in behind to Bernardo Silva here. Bernardo Silva looks to play it back across to Savinho once again. That killer pass is just not there. Bernardo Silva. We're in behind towards Doku. Adebayo, it's nicked by Doku. It's brilliant by Doku. Doku onto Haaland. And again, the final pass is dead from Manchester City. Right to Savinho. Oh, he's past Chilwell. Savinho. He's on a plate for Erling Haaland. How has he not scored? Oh my God, what a miss. What a bit of play by Savinho against Chilwell, but how have we not scored again? Kanji can't win it. Sancho away from him. Vardy comes out to him. He's had him in his pocket today, but Sancho this time beats him. And Nkunku at the near post here. Kanji in the box makes a good challenge, and Nkunku still back out to Vardy. Bernardo Silva gives it away in front of his own box here. Cole Palmer with a strike. And a save by Ederson. Palmer with a spin on Ake. Palmer. Akanji dives in. Ederson makes the save. We've got to make changes here. Foden. Into Savinho. Savinho running here. Savinho. Savinho. Back onto Foden. Gundogan. Savinho. Haaland's a mile offside. So poor. The final ball is non-existent in this team. Kanji again reads it so good today, Manu Akanji. That is full time. A 0-0 draw with Chelsea at home. It's not good enough, Manchester City. It is not good enough. The final ball, how Haaland missed that chance, I don't know. 0-0 with Chelsea at home. City are better than this. We have to be better than this, because if we're not better than this, we will not be Premier League champions this season. We will not be. We will not be FA Cup winners, and we will not be Champions League winners either. That in today's episode, changes are needed somewhere. The creativeness is lacking absolutely massively. Thanks for watching. Please do like the video if you haven't already. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. And we'll see you guys frustratingly next time, hopefully for a better performance.